Welcome to Thank You Agape. So today I'm showing you my everyday makeup look. First, I'm using my favorite mattifying primer just on my T-zone to control the oils throughout the day and to give that poreless finish. Now I'm using a radiance primer on my cheeks to give me that beautiful illumination. Next, a light coverage foundation just to even out my skin. So you can see I am warming it up on the back of my hand. This makes the formula a bit more workable and it also goes on a lot easier as well. By dotting it on, I can control where I want the most coverage. For examples, I usually get quite red on my cheeks and near my nose because that's where a lot of our capillaries tend to be. And that's, where you tend to see a bit of a natural blush coming through. I'm using a dense stippling brush to buff the foundation to my skin and make sure to use a pressing in and rolling motion rather than a swiping one, because that's just going to move it around and you're not going to get that even finish. And honestly, as you can see, I can blend for days. I'm using a full coverage concealer just on the areas I want a bit more coverage. This is the key to a natural flawless appearance without looking a bit cakey. I'm going to use a mini buffing brush to buff out the concealer I've placed on. One of my tricks is to use what I have left on my brush just under the eyes or anywhere that's just a light blemish, so I still get that kind of see-through skin look without it being too heavy. Another one of my hot tips is to use a serum infused concealer underneath the under eyes, just because it is a delicate area and you want a bit more hydration, and a lighter consistency means it won't crack throughout the day. By going in with the buffing brush, I'm making sure everything is even and blended in all together. One of the worst things is when you can see the perimeter of your concealer compared to your foundation. A neat trick is, if you don't have eye primer, use a little bit of the excess concealer on your eyes and set it with the powder like I'm doing here. I'm just using the MERCIER one because it is flashback free and mattifying as well. I prefer using a small tapered fluffy brush because it is going to disperse the powder evenly without being too cakey in small areas. And here I am just going back to make sure everything's all buffed out. Honestly, like I said, it's the key to a really natural appearance. And here I am back with a larger fluffy brush, and this is just with the leftover powder to dust my T-zone and my cheeks. Also, use a fluffy brush with the powder just to set your eye primer or the excess concealer on your eyes. This means that you'll have a nice smooth base to buff eyeshadows with. Okay, brows, one of my favorite parts. So I am using a brow crayon blade, and as you can see here, I am just drawing light strokes to mimic hair, so it doesn't look too filled in. I really love the ones with the little spoolie at the end because I can just, blend out any mistakes and help disperse the color as well to give that gradient at the front of the brow. Brows. I honestly love doing brows because they just frame the face. One thing to keep in mind is that they are sisters, not twins. You know, one is always more straight or curved, thicker, thinner. Whichever it is, I always like to just go along the natural brow personally for myself. Of course, you can always mix this up depending on the look you're going for. I like to go in with a spoolie to make sure the front is more gradient-like and the edge is a bit darker. I'm going to apply these Ambient blushes from HOURGLASS. They are pigment mixed in with the Ambient powder, which is a finishing powder. It gives you this beautiful photoluminous complexion and is super natural and layerable as well. What I like to do is place the blush on and then blend it. This means that I can control the concentration of the colour as well. I actually never wore much blush or bronzer back in the day because I thought it would accentuate my redness prone skin, but now I've just fallen in love. You just need to find the right blushes, to be honest. So here is the NARS Laguna bronzer, quite well known, and I am focusing on the perimeters and underside of my cheek because I want to look healthy, not hungry. And you have to really focus on making sure you buff into your hairline and to your ears, the edges of your ears, because your face just doesn't end, it doesn't have like a clear perimeter. You need to make sure that it's blended, right to the hairline as well, or you'll definitely notice, or someone will. So here I haven't really covered a blemish to my heart's content. I'm just buffing a little concealer and make sure to press it into the skin. Also set with powder. I'll be starting on eyeshadow next with a flat shader brush in a beige tone. So I'm going to apply this on my mobile lid to give me a nice base. This is just going to be adding some dimension to my eyes. Now I'm using a rounded, fluffy brush to add a more caramel color to the outer third and buffing it slightly into the crease as well. So the focus of the eyeshadow is just to give warmth and depth to the eyes, not something too drastic, although you can definitely turn this look into a beautiful evening look as well. It's very transformable. Using a pointed brush, I'm going to add a burnt orange kind of colour to the bottom outer third. And this can be tied in with the upper outer corner as well, just to give a pop of colour and dimension. I'm just making sure to buff it all out. Using a short flat shader, I kind of had it on an angle, but I'm placing a champagne colour on the front of the lid. Now with a small angled brush, I'm going to tightline my upper lash line with a black eyeshadow. This is going to give you more of a softer liner that is really wearable as well. Using an angled detail brush, I'm going to place that same champagne colour, and this is going to make my eyes look a bit more awake as well. Next, lashes. I'm sure you know how to do this step. With a long tapered brush, I'm using a neutral brown colour to contour my nose. Make sure to blend into the front of the eye socket because this is going to give the look a bit more of a seamless contour. With the highlighting shade of the Hourglass palette, I am going to add this to the top of my cheekbones and my cupid's bow. Now, lip tint. I am obsessed with lip products. I think I found like 7 lip products in my bag once. I think it's just because I kept changing purses and different colour for different mood or different occasion. It's always handy. I love lip tints because they kind of give you that natural stain even after you've eaten or just been talking throughout the day. You can definitely add a tinted lip balm just to refresh the colour as well. Ta-da! Here's the final finished look. Let me know in the comments below what other videos you'd like to see, or if you have any questions. All the products will be in the description box as well. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And feel free to come back. I'm Jess and this is Thank You Agape. Bye!